Hey, what's that deal worth that you're looking at right now? Are you just going to give them their asking price, or maybe you're going to take the agent's word for it? Before you make an offer, you need to know this formula that I'm going to give in this video. I got a deal come across my desk just recently, and I'm going to underwrite it right in front of you. So when you go to make your offer, you can do it with confidence. Stick with me to the end of this video so that you have the formula to success. Hey, I'm Blake Anderson with Envision Investor Solutions, and I love to help real estate investors add new construction and land development to their investing toolkit. And I had a deal come to me about 6 weeks ago of a gentleman who bought a choice piece of land in a beautiful area just outside of town. And he had seen some things that we were doing and needed a partner in the deal. He was not a land developer. He just knew the location was right and the asking price had to be below market. So he bought it, and now has reached out to us and asked us to do the rest of the deal with him as a JV partner on it. Now, I know that he's bought well, but the question is, what is this land really worth? And so there's a simple formula that we've got to use that will help direct our efforts as we try to put an offer price together. So when you think about what your land is worth, you always have to think first, what is my offer price? Which is basically the value of the land. And my offer price is derived from a simple formula. First, I need to know what I'm going to sell there and how much money I'm going to make. And then I'm going to subtract my hard costs, my soft costs, and my profit. And now let's break this down a minute here. And so whenever you start thinking about buying a piece of land, whether you're just going to flip the land, whether you're going to entitle it on paper, maybe you're going to take it to finished lots, or you're someone who's like me, who's going to build it all the way to finished product and sell to the buyer, I have to start by knowing, what is my sale price going to be? Like Stephen Covey says in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, you have to begin with the end in mind. The rest of this flows out of, what am I going to sell here? So I've got to do the homework and the research to find out, what is the optimal thing to build on this piece of property and what can I sell it for? So for this particular property, it's 7 acres in a beautiful area. I drove the area, I saw what was being built around there, but I called some agent friends of mine, and they immediately unanimously gave me the same advice. Out in that area, you need to build right around a 3,000 square foot home, and you're going to sell between $800,000 and $850,000. So that immediately starts my equation. I need to know, what is my sales, because the rest has to be deducted from that to find out what my offer price is or what the value of that land is. So I have my sale price per lot, $800,000 per home, and then I'm going to subtract out my hard costs. So my hard costs are going to be my horizontal costs, that's clearing, grading, roads, any water and sewer infrastructure. My hard costs are also my vertical construction, so the actual houses that are going to get built there, minus my soft costs. My soft costs are going to be my commissions for when the houses sell. There's going to be interest that's going to be paid for the loans. I'm going to have design and engineering, and I'm going to also have county fees. Those are my soft costs. And then finally, I've got to decide how much profit I need to make on this deal. And this equation will lead me to my offer price, or what the land value is. Now, speaking about profit, profit is a factor of risk versus reward, right? The riskier the deal, the greater the reward I need to get out of it. The more sure the deal is, the less profit I need for it to make sense. So you can use percentages, but you also need to make sure that even if you say you're using 20% as your profit margin, that total amount is going to be worth all the time that it's going to take to do this deal. Okay, so I have my land value, offer price is sales minus hard costs minus soft costs minus my profit. All right, so for this particular deal, this is raw land. And there's a few different extra strategies you can take when you're developing raw land. You could just buy a piece of raw land and flip it. immediately without doing any of the entitlement work, design, or approvals, okay? The next step is you could do paper entitlements. Means I could take it all the way through the approval process just before I put in the infrastructure in. And so I'm removing risk all along the way. So paper entitlements would remove the risk of what you can build there. I could pay the fees to make sure that these houses could truly be built. The next exit ramp could be that you're going to put in the infrastructure, you're going to do the final subdivision, and you're going to sell the finished lots to a builder. And then finally, there could be a builder that buys a finished lot and just builds a house to sell. So these are 4 direct exit ramps that you can take on this deal, or like me, you can be someone that does it all. So I'm going to buy the raw land, I'm going to take it through entitlements, I'm going to put the road and the infrastructure in, I'm going to build the house, and I'm finally going to make my money on the back end when the house sells. So knowing I have these different exit ramps, the easiest way to think about the value of land is I break this into 3 specific steps, okay? So step 1, I need to derive my sale price for the house that's gonna sell, because everything's gonna flow out of that. I've gotta begin with the end in mind. Step 2 is I'm gonna find out what the lot cost is. I'm going to create a lot cost based on the size and value of the home I'm going to create. And then finally, I'm going to derive the land cost, because the land cost is a direct product of what the lot costs are. So we're going to have to build a house and sell it. Now I could sell it to a builder who's going to pay me a certain amount of money for the lot, okay? So I can sell a finished lot, but there's cost to develop that lot. Just because the builder is willing to pay me $150,000 for the lot, there's still work that needs to be done to make a finished lot, okay? And all that cost is going to come in to that land cost. So you see this equation of offer, sales, hard cost, soft cost, profit. I'm going to use that both to create the lot cost, and the same formula I'm going to use again to create the land cost. Hey, if this looks like something that you want to learn more of, that this isn't just a simple video that you're going to watch and scroll to the next one, I've got an offer for you that I think would help. I'm launching a free land development course. We're going to go into deeper dive into this whole process, and I'd love to have you as my guest. There's a link in the description below. Click on it and I'll see you inside. All right, so for this particular deal, I mentioned before, so I called the realtors who knew this area very well, and we figured out what a sale price would be. What do I need to build here, and what can I sell it for, right? And so I was given this advice. I can build and should build a 3,000 square foot home. And that's going to be 4-bed, 2.5 baths at a minimum, and I'm going to sell that for $800K. Okay? All right, so I have my sale price as $800K per house, right? Now, as I said before, we've got 5 lots that we're going to be able to create from these 7 acres. So now from this, I can start to drive my actual lot cost. If I was just going to take it up to a point of a finished lot and sell to a builder, what would that be, right? So I'm chunking this formula down into manageable parts, right? So we're going to run it through this exact same formula. So what's my lot cost? What's the offer price per lot? So first, we've got our sale price. And so for the lot, for an individual lot, I've got $800K in the lot. My hard cost, I'm going to try to build this thing for $500K. That's in my vertical construction. I'm assuming that the lot is ready, so the horizontal has already been done on this deal. So this is just vertical construction alone. For this, my soft costs on the deal, I'm going to have design and commissions and some interest on the holding costs. So I'm going to have about $75K in soft costs. And I'm going to have a desired profit of about $100K. All right, so we're saying give or take 20% on the cash it's going to take. For me, is about $100K. And so what that does is that gives me a lot cost of $125K per lot. Okay, simple math. Right now, each one of these components obviously has lines on spreadsheets that you're going to have to track down when you derive these costs, but we're still following this process. Now, I haven't done this on these deals, so this isn't exact numbers. I wouldn't make this as law as far as percentages on the deal that you're looking at, but this is just some quick back of the napkin math to start to give me a path on where I'm going to end up. I'll do some more due diligence on the actual cost of the house, on the actual soft costs that I have, and get real specific about the profit and whether it's worth it. But for today, this is the formula that we're using. So I've got $125K per lot that I'm willing to pay. So now, because on this deal, we're going to buy the raw land, I've got to go to the seller and I've got to give them a land cost. Now, $125K for 5 lots is $625,000, but I can't pay the owner $625,000 because there is work that's got to be done in the land just to create the lot, just as there's work that has to be done in the house to be able to sell it for this. So I'm trying to figure out my land cost, which is my offer price at the beginning of this deal, right? And so my the sales price of these lots, 125K times 5, is I'm going to have 625K is what I will make in gross sales from the lots if I were to sell to builders. On this deal, I'm going to sell to myself. But if I was going to stop here and sell to builders, I'd have 625K total sales. Now, my hard costs on the deal is going to be about 300K. So my hard cost on this deal is going to be a road, about a 500-foot long Class B private road. So it's not Class A, it's Class B private road. And there's also some clearing that has to be done on the property. And then I'm going to have soft costs of about 50K. Okay? Minus my desired profit. And so if I just take 20% on the cash that I'm going to have to spend to develop this, let's just say for today's sake, I'm willing to take 60K for all this work, right? So that's another thing. You want a percentage of return, but you also got to think about the amount of work it's going to take you and the risk you're going to have to expend in order to get this finished lot on the ground. And so what that leaves me with, if I have 625 minus 300 minus 50 minus 60, that leaves me with about a $215,000 offer price for his land. Now I can call the seller and I'm going to show him this exact formula so that he knows I didn't just invent the price. I can't just pay a number picked out of a hat. I'm not going to take an agent's word for it. I'm not necessarily just going to give him what comps on the market. I've got to make sure that I can make money. And so a lot of you are asking your agent, a lot of your agents are just pulling comps because they don't know about this formula, and you're just offering for the land only to get in it and realize, oh my gosh, these numbers don't work. I can't make any money here. You see, there's lots of people making money in land development, but there are tons of people losing money. And just because you see a house that's being sold doesn't mean that that builder or that developer made any money on that deal. You've got to know how to run your numbers. It's a simple formula full of specific costs depending on your deal, depending on your county, depending on how far you're going to take it, that gets you to the value of your land. Now, I know, for instance, that this seller got an incredible deal on this land, and he will be able to take this $215K and he could get out of the deal right now and make his money for the money that he bought this land for. Now, for this particular instance, this seller is interested in participating in the profit on the back end. So likely we're going to create a seller financing agreement. We're going to offer him this land cost plus 8% interest plus a percentage of the profit when we go to sell the homes at the back end. Well, I hope this simple but profound formula informs the next deal that you're looking at. Hey, if you're looking at land and you are wondering how to even evaluate it. Maybe you're saying, Blake, I get this formula makes sense to me. I was already kind of thinking these terms, but I don't even know what makes up all of these costs. I don't even know how to look at this land to see if you can even divide it and do the things that you're selling. I've got a free land evaluation checklist that I love to get in your hands. I use this checklist on every deal that I look at to make sure that I'm crossing all my T's, dotting all my I's. And on that land evaluation checklist, I've also got a simple calculator that will help you spit out this kind of offer price that you can do for land. There's a whole lot more research that you and education and training that you need to know what makes up these hard costs and these soft costs, and that kind of stuff is available in our training community. And we help investors learn how to develop, build, fund, and scale their real estate. Hit that like and subscribe button for more videos on how to develop real estate.